up? Your girl G here. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. This is technically my first video upload of the new year, you guys. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and happy belated birthday to me. Your girl just turned the big dirty 30, the big 30 this second. Today's the 6th, yeah. So I just had a birthday, you guys. So a lot happened, and now I'm finally posting. A lot has just been so much going on, and so I know I haven't really posted that much lately this past few weeks, but it's the new year. Gonna try to get right back on it, be consistent, and, just keep pushing how I've been wanting to, okay? But things that we need to talk about, you guys, on this new year is Love and Marriage Huntsville. Y'all, Love and Marriage Huntsville, I mean, although Trisha is full of it half the time, I feel like we've actually gotten a pretty good season. Like, we've actually got stuff to, bite our teeth into, to really dissect, especially when it comes to Marquez. Marquez is literally the epitome of a man who pities himself and then, wants to get upset that he didn't get his way. And Marceau, surprisingly enough, is the one that called it out. I think right now Marceau has learned his lesson from letting Martell slide with all the bullshit that he used to get through with. And he's not letting it happen with Marquez. The minute Marquez say some type of lie, Marceau is on it, okay? But also, I think another reason is, too, Marquez ain't got no dirt on Marceau. So... he ain't got no info. He ain't got no 411 on Marceau. So, there's not hesitation to call him out maybe as much. But nonetheless, you guys, let's go ahead and get to the episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I really appreciate all of you for tuning in. Make sure to hit that like button. Y'all drop down in the comments. Let me know also what you think about your girl's new hair. I got some curly pieces in there. I don't know, for those of you who have seen it, I got it braided back in the front because I just needed my hair up in a protective style a little bit. So just a little bit of yang. I need to add a few more curly pieces in it, and some a little more gems and stuff or whatever. But Love and Marriage Huntsville, okay? Let's get into it. So we open up the episode with Chris Fletcher and Nell Fletcher, okay? She wants to get down to the nitty gritty of how the hell Marceau and Trisha met, because Chris has ended up in this, equation by way of Trisha. Trisha is trying to do all types of algebra to make sure it don't equal her. She's just trying to Martell minus blank equals Trisha. Trisha plus blank equals Martell. There's some pieces of the equation that we try to, pick and put in. And so now Trisha is trying to subtract herself from the equation via Chris. She said, this is Chris' fault. And so at the open house, when she says, it was Chris who basically told Martell about me, now Nell's asking him, so what does she mean exactly? And Chris had to look at her, and he's talking about, I ain't no lie. She's like, you lying? He's like, I ain't no damn lie. So she's like, so what happened? He was like, it wasn't nothing serious. I was on the phone with him, just left the gym. He was trying to, find gyms or whatever. He asked me if it was a good looking girl up there. He said, I just gave her last name. I don't believe that, because you said that you know her via family. So I think that, because Nell was like, well, how did he find her only by the last name? Which, the thing is, if you can get somebody's last name, it'll give you drop down bars of people who had that name or something like that. Then it'll also go according to who's in your area. So it's possible that he could have found Trish like that, but the odds that Chris Fletcher knew Trisha's whole name, and be able to give it to her, I fall more likely on that side. But Chris is in there y'all, hey, look, my name Bennett, I ain't it, don't try to pull me in this mess. And so Nell starts talking about Melody and how she's really starting to ponder a little bit more what happened in that situation, because she's like, Mel really tried to get on me talking about, I didn't know that's how you really felt about me. Melody is a very temperamental person. And I mean temperamental in the aspect of she is looking for a reason to cut it off. Like, and she'll cut somebody off and not even tell them. That's really a part of the reason why, Stormy and her kind of fell out, besides like the mama stuff. And kind of how Destiny and her fell out. Like, she just be cutting people off and then don't say nothing. And so then the people be like, damn, we had a problem? Okay. So nonetheless, Melody is trying to call out Nell, and Nell was like, but then, I need to call her out on the fact that, like, you trying to minimize, the part that I played in your relationship, like the part that I played in our friendship and just with you and Martell. Like, I was a mentor to you. And I said this earlier when this debate first came up. I felt like, Nell and Chris absolutely were in a mentor counsel type state, because that's how Melody introduced them, when it was like, oh, this is who we go to when me and Martell are having our problems. They give us knowledge and help us. They really kind of, and I think at one point she even used the word mentor. So, or she's like, they help counsel us. So it's just kind of like, you're the one who kind of put Nell in that state, because in order for you to go to somebody for help and to look for information, that means you kind of see him in a hierarchical way. And also, Nell is older than Melody, although Nell don't want to admit it. She would be petty. Stop saying that, Nell, girl. It's okay that you're older than everybody. You look good. But yeah, like, Melody established that there was kind of like a hierarchical relationship. But nonetheless, Nell at the end of the episode is going to talk to Melody. So, speaking to Melody, before I even get to this scene, because when I tell you, the way Maurice and Melody was having a little subliminal standoff, what's going on? There we go. There we go. Sorry, I had to figure it out. I was like, no, I can't have it clogged. So sorry, I had to inhale a little something for this scene, because it had me all types of laughing. But also, Maurice, I don't like how you try to wiggle your way out this situation, and he keeps wiggling his way out this situation and being held accountable of the bullshit that he did with this DUI. And not really with just the DUI, it's how you handled the after of it all. So Melody comes in, sits down. Melody looks cute with her little two-piece suit, and he really just kind of gets to it, with Melody talking about, Melody, we haven't sat down like this in a long time. But, after the conversation that we had, it's just really starting to feel like you're going around, just kind of slandering my character. And she was like, really? Like, I mean, all I'm doing is just, as Melly likes to put it, I'm just asking questions. I didn't know asking questions was illegal. I didn't know just stating my opinion, was illegal. And in this situation, that's how she's like relaying it to Maurice. Of just like, I didn't have to slander your character, nigga. You did that on your own. And Maurice's face kind of went like, like, at the end of the day, like, a lot of these dudes are always looking for reasons why women are slandering their name. Anytime dudes do something, especially as, the father of somebody's kids, like, women are not supposed to say the shit that they did, out of this idea of like, oh, you're tarnishing their name. No, their actions are tarnishing their name. Like, me only relaying the information is not what the problem is. Like, his actions, like his reputation precedes him. And so here it is, Maurice. You get a DUI, and then the next day it's free Reese. Bottles up, pour it up. Hey, watch it all fall out. Hey, pour it up. That's how we ball out. Yeah, like he was pulling it up. Blame it on the goose. Got you feeling loose. Okay, and so now that Melody's like, well, that's not a good look. Maurice tried to do this mental game with her, and she caught it. She caught it. The clock that T clocking. Okay, Maurice, because Maurice tried to hit, Melody. It just, I know that you've gone through a lot, ever since the show started, the way you were introduced. I know that just had to be really embarrassing and hurtful, and I just wonder if that has anything to do with this, and like how you're trying to handle this situation. Like, are you mad at me? And she was like, mad at you? He's like, does this feel like any type of reason for get back for anything that I've done? So she's like, get back at you for what? And he was like, well, with Martell, it's just really, I just haven't seen, this Mel, like I'm just ready to get back to the old Mel, the happy Mel, and so she was like, nigga, what? First of all, one, what does this have to do with the conversation at hand? And two, who are you to tell me I'm unhappy, nigga? Like, you don't know. I literally said this in my last review. I said for Maurice to be sitting there talking about Melody, like, oh, who the old Melody is and who I ain't seen happy Melody the whole minute. Like, nigga, you haven't even been around her to know who the current Melody is. And she let him know, like, nigga, you knew Melody Holt, but you don't know Melody Rogers. And finally, he was like, you right. Yeah, I know I'm right. Like, Maurice, you actually have not truly been in the vicinity of Melody, because Melody stepped back before this season. Those past 2 seasons, Melody saw how everybody was operating, and this, we're just going to coddle Martell, one, because we know he's in a shitty situation, although by his actions, we're going to try to help him, make him feel good, make him feel like he didn't blow all his shit up. And then secondly, with all the things that Martell was doing to Melody, it just seemed like nobody, even when Melody was reacting to things, like it just seemed like nobody really was trying to stand up for just simply what was right in the situation. And so now that's why Martell feels so emboldened as to do the shit that he's done with this RP situation. And not only that, they've even said that you've shown videos of not just Melody, but Ariane. Like, come on now. And then you got Carlos King sitting here just allowed the past 2 seasons. Martell has gotten away with so much shit and not actually been asked about a whole bunch of stuff he should have been asked about at these reunions. Like, Carlos King, that's another even conversation in itself we got to talk about, because Carlos, girl, your slip showing. It's been showing. Like, I've been clocked how Carlos has been trying to run for a little bit. He want to get on his Andy Cohen, but the problem is that's another video. That's another video. We just gotta talk about that because I want to read it too long. So when he hit Mel with the like, I would see the happy Mel, she was like, who are you to say I'm happy? Like, try it. You tried it. And so this is where I'm on Maurice's ass, because it's like, you're trying to bring up something and conflate. He like, the way he's trying to conflate the stuff is what I'm catching, because you feel like, okay, the reason Melody is coming at you about your DUI is like, one, to get back, two, because she's unhappy. Like, she has to be unhappy. Like, she's left Martell. That's how most men feel. Like, a woman being by herself, she's gonna be unhappy, no matter what facade she puts up. And so Maurice, one, I think just out of pure satisfaction of being a man, especially like when Marceau would see Melody leave, they need her to look a certain way, because Melody can't embolden they women to leave, okay? Like, that she can't do well, because then these our women gonna want to leave too. But nonetheless, him trying to say she's unhappy, he definitely was taking some, like, passive aggressive digs. But Melly, like I said, she was peeping. And Maurice, the way he was trying to make it about her being unhappy, and the real problem is like it's get back season for Melody. And it's like, although that may be true, Maurice, that still ain't got shit to do with your DUI. Like, that still got shit to do with the fact you thought going out the next day drinking was a good idea. But he didn't want to really, really get into that. Like, he didn't want to really get into, his decision making and it being more than about, oh, Melody just trying to like have get back at you. Like what you did, Maurice, was, who does that? Like, who literally does that? You get a DUI, got the next, and then like drinking and put it on social media, like, and then you want to sit and have these moments of, as you know, Melody calls it, these Martin Luther King speeches and all this bullshit. Like, get out of here, bro. So, he's like, have I ever done anything to you? And she's like, you know, he's like, not even now, but just like in the past. And she was like, well, you know, you used to just make fun of faces and laugh at shit that I didn't think was funny. And that is the truth. A lot of times, Maurice and Marceau, they just laughed off the shit that Martell did. But as the woman who's actually living the terrors of dealing with a psychotic man, you know, ain't shit funny. Like, literally ain't shit funny. I'm dealing with a man like who literally is making my life hell. Showing up to restaurants. Like, I can't even go out on a date because he popping up at restaurants. He's, you know, trying to walk in my house. He's slandering me on social media. You know, he won't take the kids because he want to see where I'm at. Or like, I got to pay for the kids stuff because shit, he ain't got the money. Like, what? But at the end of the conversation, you know, because Melody said that was something that bothered her, Maurice was like, you know what, Melody? I apologize. I apologize for that. And Melody was like, you know what? That apology, you know, it makes me want to apologize to you too. Maurice, you know, anything I ever said in regards to your incident, your DUI, you know, that hurt you, you know, I'm going to say sorry for that too. It was definitely giving like, we both bullshitting each other. Like, we both just smiling at each other like, right, okay. Fake, okay? But it definitely was both of them just clocking each other. They both came to the table with a mask on. But I mean, Melody is on some petty get back this season, and is she wrong? Like, is she wrong? Because Melody's past two seasons before this, like I said, she left everybody alone to their own devices. And now this season is just kind of like, especially after probably watching how, like, now that the RP situation has happened, to Melody, it's like, when is enough? Enough with you motherfuckers, you know? And so, yeah, like, her coming back to really kind of be petty, I mean, I'm kind of here for it. Like, you know, I'm kind of here for it. It's about time. But also, it's like, we just not gonna let Melody also act like that's not what she doing, you know? But yeah, moving on. So Marquez, Marceau, and Mr. Fletcher all sit down to go eat. And so Marquez show up, and he basically is trying to talk to them about how he navigates, of course, this situation with Ken and Trisha. And so as he's talking, you see Marceau over there just kind of looking. Marquez hit with the, you know, this is just so hard. You know, I just, you know, you know, after the situation at the party, you know, my son, you know, he even talked to me about this, and, you know, he's just like, you know, I don't really know how to do the situation with Ken and Trisha. And so Marceau was like, you know, are we supposed to feel bad? Like, he was like, well, damn. Like, Marquez is like, he's not, because Chris had said something to Marceau. He was like, you're not as empathetic as him. And Marceau says, I'm not empathetic to no lies, no bullshit. He was like, wait, you think I'm lying? He was like, well, tell me the truth. Like, he was such a, like, you know, do you love her? He was like, no, like, I don't, like, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna always love her, but I'm not, like, in love her. He was like, no. In the plain layman's terms of, you love this woman and you are wanting to work it out with her, but that's not what you did. You don't love her enough to even try to work truly on the situation. And he was like, you know, you love somebody, you love your kids, all this type of stuff like that, but your actions are completely the opposite. And he called him out basically on the fact of, like, Marquez, you thought you were going to be able to leave and come back. And he was like, nah, that's not what it is. Da, da, da. He was like, so when after Marceau broke it down, it was like, okay, you said, you know, you were going to go on a break. A break typically means that it's something that you're going to come back to. And so he's like, yeah. He was like, so you left in the hopes to, and Marquez is like, you know, yeah, I wanted to come back. And he's like, until, and then he's like, right, until Ken. So now that we are breaking it down, Marquez, this is how niggas think. He thought Trisha, baby mama, single woman, 2 kids, ain't no nigga finna slide that. Ain't no nigga finna cop that from under me. And you go to Atlanta, which is what I think that he said, like an hour or 2 away from Huntsville or something like that, because Melody goes there. So it's like, you thought you were finna be able to go and come back, and then Ken slid in and is doing everything, like Marceau said, is doing everything that you know you should be doing and can't do. You gotta call these motherfuckers just for a tank of gas to get to your son's graduation. And here you are complaining, talking about, oh, you know, this man, you know, he in the house with my kids, like he got, because that's all Marquez keeps saying, like, nah, man, cause you know, you got everything, you know, you got the house, the kids, and da. Like, in Marquez's mind, he's like thinking, like, well, I ain't got nobody, like, I ain't got nothing, because he said that when they went to sign the papers, like, you know, you got it all, like, you know, shoot, I go home to nobody, nigga. That was your decision. You were the one who left. You. And so now you leave, and then homie comes in, and as Marceau puts it, as most men fear, is, you know, bouncing my daughter on his lap, like another man got my daughter in his lap, and it's kind of a thing of like, yeah, why does your daughter feel so close to Ken? So much so, she literally walked past your ass like you was a stop sign. Like, literally walked past you like you was a flashy yellow light, and you had to literally stop her to be like, hey, and she was just so disgusted. She just was
bombastic side eye.
Yes.
Okay. And then the son embarrassed by you. So now Marquez, he hear it, but he ain't really trying to hear it. Especially from Marceau, you know, like, cause he's like, Chris, you know, I hear what you saying, and I listen to what you saying, but not all of what you saying. Like Marceau, it was just kind of like Marceau called him out, point blank, period. You thought you were gonna be able to come and go as you please, and then Trisha got her body right. You know, she did good because she's an engineer, so she held everything up on her own. And then you got Ken coming in and paying for shit and doing everything that you can't do. And then you want to get mad talking about, another man being my kid's father, regardless of you being broke or not. And you having this idea of like, oh, how this man slide in to be a father to my kids. That's not possible unless you're allowing it, Marquez. There's no way Ken would be able to develop such a relationship with your kids, especially with your daughter, of such like wanting to call him dad. You know, that doesn't happen without you allowing it. You're the one that's disappearing. You're the one, because you're embarrassed and you know you ain't got your shit together. They had a nerve to sit there and try to holler at Melody, y'all. I tell you, if it's one thing some broke ancient niggas will do is have the audacity to still holler at the women that is out of their league. Marquez, what you gonna give Melody? It's giving real homosexual behavior. And then especially he's like, so what you plan on doing? You know, I'm just really trying to get to Huntsville, you know, so I can break bread with people. And it's given, he's trying to get to Huntsville, figure out a way to get a job, money, something, which is why he's doing everything he can to have conversations with everybody at the party and stuff, and, you know, have conversations with these guys, because he's trying to get on the show. He needs some munions. And yeah, Marquez, just sorry ass nigga. And then he thinks, okay, I get it. Yes, you know, working and Trisha on some sneaky geeky. You know, were they on some sneaky geeky? Yes. You know, the little chocolate emojis and all that stuff. Yeah. And so Marquez feels like that is like entitlement to almost be like, as he says, triggered. Like, yeah, you know, I get around there, I'm not triggered, because because you knew he was waiting on the sidelines, you know, you allow that to be the excuse of why you don't interact with them. Okay, even regardless of how they started, that shouldn't be such a heavier influence that it's affecting how you father your kids. Like, it's giving excuse. But he gets up talking about, you know, I gotta go, you know, see my kids. Nigga wasn't gonna go see nobody. He was trying to get up out that conversation. But yeah, moving on. So what happened after that? I think this is the mimosas. Yeah, mimosas with Melody, and in the party. Anytime Marcel comes on the scene with those motherfucking glasses, I am dying. The way he was like, he was just talking, you know, you see me. I think that's what he said. He was like, you see, you know, you see me. And he had the glasses on. I was dead. Okay, hold on. What is this? I got some glasses right here. How you be doing it? You know, you see me. He be walking through. He had his drink, and he would just, anytime he do this with the glasses like this, anytime Marcel be looking like this. So, yeah, so he sit down. It's mimosas with Melody. Maurice being shady. Where the mimosas at? Marceau, they talking. He's like, this is giving Black Expo, you know, because it's mimosas with Melody, but I think this one in particular was standing on business. So I think for this particular one, it was we'll just call it like an expansion. But after that, Trisha and Ken are over there sitting down. Marquez comes over. You know, he's trying to be polite. Hey, what's up, you guys? Like, Marquez, you ain't got to shake their hand. Literally just hit both of them with the, hey, what's up, y'all? Like, it's so awkward. Marquez's energy just gives just awkward, ashamed, pitiful, anxious ass, weak, just skittish energy. I just literally can't put it into just uncomfortable. Anytime he comes around, it is uncomfortable. But Ken is in the middle of trying to send some money to the kids, and then this is where I'm seeing now that Trisha is a little bit of a fire starter. She likes chaos, okay? I know her and Marquez was tearing that motherfucking house up, okay? Because Trish, she even said it in the kitchen. Like, she'd be so upset that Ken is so cool, calm, and collected sometimes. And then the way she was like, should I tell Marquez, you know, that it's notarized, you know, that I signed it or whatever at the graduation? And everyone was like, no, don't do that. Like, Trish, bitch, you like a little chaos. You toxic as fuck, okay? And so we're seeing as we go along, Ken getting just a little bit more riled up and a little bit more swollen in his chest than usual as we continue to go along. And I'm like, yeah, sure, like there definitely is some moments like where as a person who is calm, cool, collected all the time, eventually that's gonna run short. But I also think Trisha's not helping, okay? Trisha wants to incite a little bit of violence between Ken and Marquez, because I don't want to say she's trying to replace Marquez, but I think she is no longer trying to infiltrate, trying to help him be the dad to the kids. But nonetheless, you know, Ken gets up and he's telling Kimmy and Maurice, like, Kimmy's like, well, you know, when he comes over to try to say hi, you know, you think you want to, you know, kind of, cause he's trying, you know, at first it's like, well, you know, he's trying. And Trisha's like, man, fuck that nigga. Like, he want to sit here and do all this shit now, but behind the scenes, he still texts me like, man, I still don't like that motherfucking nigga. And they was like, word? And they was like, yeah. And if that's the case, and Marquez is still sending text messages like, oh, I ain't never gonna fuck with that nigga and this and that. Like, it makes sense. Like, it's understood. But yeah, so Marquez, he over there in the back with Marceau and Melody, and then I love a Marceau and Melody scene, y'all. So he over there with his glasses again. And Marquez was over there with Melody, and her feet was kind of bobbling or whatever. She was like, "Ooh, ow." She was like, my feet." He's like, "You want me to rub them for you?" I said, "Sir, when I tell you audacities all these niggas have, you want me to rub them for you? Ugh. If you don't get out of my face." So Marceau ended up talking to Melody about like, the event and how everything was going. He was like, "Yeah, Marquez, said that he was making you blush at the party." She was like, "Huh?" He was like, "Yeah." He said that like you wanted him, and so she was like, "I wanted him." And Marceau is so messy because he set Marquez up like a motherfucker, and then he's also constantly trying to cause the fact that Marquez is a lying ass heifer, because he was like, "Oh, so you're capping," because he was like, "I thought you told me that you said Melody like was blushing, like you was gonna ask Melody out." He's like, no, that's not what I said. I said, would Martell mind if I talk to her? And so Melody was kind of looking like, okay, like this is, She was like, "Thank you, mimosas with Melody." And then so he was like, "Well, no, like, when Marceau was like, "Yeah, he's just trying to be sweet." And he's so sweet. He's like, "Yeah, I'm nurturing and sweet." He's like, "Yeah, not like that though." Like, nigga, of course not like that. But then he was like, "I just want to, not just romantically, just try to see how I can, add to your life." And so she's like, "Well, you can send my team a proposal." Like I'm telling y'all, Marquez trying to get on this show. Marquez trying to find a way, a will, and I mean, I can't knock it, but at least be a little more subtle about it. Damn. So after that, Marceau, his own mess ass, talking about mimosas with Black Melody, Black Expo mimosas. Like, she was like, "Say that again." He was like, "Mimosa Black Expo." Like, and so it's just kind of like she's like, "This is the first one you've been to, right?" And it's like, Marceau, you need to understand, had it really not been for Melody offering the type of advice that she gave y'all when y'all tried to sit down and have this comeback 2.0 and then disguise it as the Scots, Black Business Expo, Melody gave y'all all the tips and tricks. So you might want to count your lucky stars. But nonetheless, it was just funny the way they go back and forth kills me. So then Sonny, y'all, was standing there, and this is when I saw Sonny. I was like, Sonny look a little thick. And then it clicked to me because I totally forgot, y'all. Sonny, she might be with child. And so Sonny's over there with everybody, and they're like, "Oh, where's Moses?" And she's like, "Well, he kind of had a little parole issue." And so Kimmy's like, "Parole issue as in he not here?" And she's like, "No, he's not here, but hopefully, soon." And everybody kind of was just like, damn. Like,
Damn.
yikes. That sucks. That sucks. First of all, you niggas need to stop coming on TV when you know you on paper. You on paper. Why you bring your ass on national television like these motherfuckers do not see y'all? I swear to God, y'all be so dumb. And so now Sonny done been through IVF, is possibly with child, and who knows how long Moses is gonna be locked the fuck away. So then, it just felt so bad. You could tell her energy too. She was just kind of like, ugh. Sonny, it was effed up how you did Destiny, but damn, I mean, I do feel bad for you for a little bit to be pregnant and your nigga locked up. Yikes. So last but not least, Nell talks to Melody, And so Melody comes by the dress fitting, and Elle looks so gorgeous. When she does her little squeals, it makes me laugh. And so they sit down, and she basically tells Melody like how she feels like, girl, I really kind of feel like you downplayed our relationship, downplayed the advice and mentorship that I gave you. Like, there were days and nights that I came over to your place, stayed with you and Martell, you know, and that was time I was taken away from my mom, and you know my mom was sick at the time. So, like, you were really kind of downplaying that. Melody was like, well, you know, like, I didn't think of it really as a mentor. This is where Melody be on some bullshit. When she be doing her little catty corner ways of approaching stuff. You know, it wasn't really that you were mentoring me. You know, it was Martell that y'all really had to talk to, because obviously, you know, it was him. And it's like, girl, you were married to that nigga, so they were mentoring y'all, okay? Like, cut those shit, Melody. That woman, and when you and Martell was on your stuff, on your bullshit, and had to talk to him when you was in that ugly ass braided wig. Ooh, that was a terrible wig. Y'all remember that braided wig? Ooh, and she threw that drink because all Martell could say was, somebody satisfy me, okay? Like, Melody, Nell, and Chris were who y'all called. So that's giving mentorship type energy. And so Nell was kind of like, I really felt like you downplayed that shit, you know? And so Melody was like, girl, you know, I apologize. Had you already called me, you know, a few weeks ago, like, you would have got an apology. And so now they're cleared, all good to go for the bachelorette party. You know, Nell said she gonna find Melody a nice, good old Bolo type of man, okay? We need a Bolo 2.0 on, all right? And yeah, that's what the episode ended, you guys. I hate that this got a little bit long. Every time I inhale some stuff, my videos get long. But I really appreciate y'all for tuning in, y'all. Make sure y'all drop in the comments tell me what you feel about Trisha and Ken. Do y'all feel like Ken's slip starting to show a little bit? What do you guys feel of Marquez? Do y'all feel like Marquez thought that Trisha was gonna be in the palm of his hand? And do you guys feel like Melody is being petty, is trying to get on some get back? Do you feel like Maurice is also not trying to address his issues with the DUI? Because I feel so. But I really appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Catch y'all hoes later.